So now it's time for our shape function exercise for the canvas. And this is really important because we want to really force you to learn all these coordinates, helping you to think. So what we're going to do here now is the following. Is all of this here, what I said in the previous video, not to delete. And if you don't have this code, make sure you watch part 11. This covers that specific code. I'm going to uncomment all of this. And what we're going to do is basically what we created here, these functions. We're going to start working on that and create them for everything we have here. So let's start to convert all of these and see how we can do it. Alright, so first of all, we had already the starting point, so I can just say here SP, and we had here also the EP. That's already done. Basically, that's these two here. So now I can delete this without any problem. If I save that and refresh, you can see here now it all works. Of course, we still have these blue lines here, or the blue dots to do. And what I will probably remove is the gray lines. We don't need these gray lines. They have no value for us. But the purple line and the yellow line are essential. So the next thing what I want to do here, let's copy that right in there. And then we're going to work on the control point. And the control point is very important as well. So we can copy this. It will be here, then 100. And then the control point at a width of 10 as well. And then finally here we have, what is that? The color will be blue. So this is called the CP1. And let's remove this here. This is the begin path. This is of course no text anymore. This is CP1. Alright. If I comment this out, you probably figured out that CP number 2 will be just basically this. Alright, so let's do that one as well. 500 by 650. And then let's comment this out as well. Save that. Refresh. Alright. So basically you feel like there's nothing changing. And that is correct because we basically just concise our code here. So now we have this here. The next thing what we want to do here is to work on the Bezier curve. And the Bezier curve is of course a bit more tricky. So what I'm going to do here is this is of course another function. So the function for this one will be, and eventually if you look at all of these numbers here, we will later on soft code these numbers as well. Because basically all of these can be easily soft coded. You just look at all of these numbers here, we have them all in here. So what I'm going to do here first, but of course first of all, let's start to create the function. Let's call this our Bezier curve shape. And then you can say you draw Bezier curve shape, including these lines here. So we're going to just put them all together because all the values we have will be used in there. So what we have here is basically all of this is very important for us. But what I want to do here is I want to just go a little bit deeper. So we're going to copy all of this, put it in there. And then you'll remember here we also have a starting point and then a starting point X and a starting point Y. So what I will do here, we're going to add up two more parameters, which is start X, comma, start Y. And now we can start working on that. So what is the start X and start Y? Well, basically there will be these here. But what I want to do first is let's cut out all of this. Cut it all out. We'll just put it in here. And later on I'm going to show you as well, because once we have this soft coded, we can change the numbers and the shape can move around. And that will be very interesting to see as well. So we're going to just put this all in here. Let's give it a proper indentation. And I'm going to remove this. We have it here up. So the first thing what we want to do, if I save this and refresh, of course it doesn't draw yet. The reason why it doesn't draw is we didn't trigger the drawing of the Bezier curve shape function. Or we didn't trigger that function, so we're going to say here now to trigger this. If I save this, it works fine. Alright. So the next thing what I want to do is I want to remove the gray lines. So we're going to search for the light gray lines. And we can just delete them. We don't need them now anymore. They were just for demo purposes to show you approximately of how it works. Let's save that, refresh, there we are. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to draw basically the Bezier curve first, which is this one here, the Bezier curve 2. Here what I want to do now is I want to change, or let's do here very simple. We're going to say here start X. Let's make a constant here. Constant start X. And let's give start x the starting value, which is an SP here. X would be equal to 200. And the next one will be the start y. And the start y, remember, it's this one here, it's 300. And later on, we will move this around and we can make it all nicely working together. So once we have that, another item we easily can figure out is the end y and the end x. So what I'm going to do here, same story, just say here, that will be equal to that, equal to this, and then the end x and y will be the ending point, which is 700 for the x, 300 for the y. So now we have that one. So the next thing what I want to do here is to get the control values. So what I'm going to do here, another constant, and this will be control x equals, well, we have to see what it will be equal to, and then we also have the control y number 1, and you can just duplicate this, put it in there, and say here number 2 and number 2. And what I want here then is basically, if we look at it, remember here we had this one here. This is the x and y control point number 1. And this is control point number 2. So here, x control point 1 equals 200. This one would be the y1 will be 400. And then here, on number 2x will be 400. And the y number 2 will be also 400. So once we have this, we can now basically get all of this, put them nicely like this here, and we can just copy all of this. And you can see here all of these values are also a constant, so that will be very nice. That saves us some time. So if I save this now and refresh, you can see nothing happens yet. And the reason why nothing happens is we didn't assign anything yet here. So let's start to assign. So we're going to say x start is the move to, xy is also here, and then what I want to do here is the following, which would be the control point 1 and x1 and control point y1. So we have that one, and then of course here, basically all of these can replace all of this. There we are. So now if I save this, refresh, you can see it's already working nicely. It already start to create the Bezier curve nicely. We could even change it. If we would say here the control point would be 200, we should see here a change already. There you are. So it starts to show us a change. So let's put this back for now. Alright. And next what I want to do here is start to simplify these as well. So we have here this purple color, and the purple color is our line here. So what we're going to do here, the line was again starting point x and y. So we're going to get this one here. This is of course our SP. Then here will be, the next one would be the control point 1, and this will be CP number 2, and finally endpoint as well. So because we know all of this, we have all of these here as variables, we can just copy and paste all of this now. As you can see, once you do this, it will become very easy to move the shape around without any adjustment from all the codes. Just only adjust here the variables and it will work nicely. So you can see here now we put them all together. I refresh this. Alright, so we have something here that is unexpected. Alright, so let me double check. What did we do here? Alright, I understand what we did here. So remember, these are basically the lines that we have. So I need to go back here. I need to just double check. Where are we going? Let's save that, refresh. Alright, so we need to go back to this light blue here, and our control point somehow was going lower. So let's see here, where are we going exactly? We want the light blue of, oh, this is CP number 2 if I'm not mistaken. Should be 300 to the right and 100. Alright, so we're going to grab this and see if this is the same value here. Our control point here was 300 by 100. This is CP1. Alright, so somehow we have here something that we might need to adjust. So let's see why we have this. Well, first of all, that's this one here as well. This is the control point. Alright, so I guess I have a mistake here. Sorry about that. So it should be 300 and this should be 100. Alright, So we have another one is the control point of that. That's supposed to be 500 by 650. So I don't understand how I managed to get the wrong code here, but sorry about that. Save that. Refresh. Alright, so this works again back to normal. That is exactly how we need it. So now what we need to do here is to try again. And now I expect that this will work all nicely. Put them in there. Control point 1 and 2, or control point 1 x and y, control point 2 x and y, and finally endpoint x and y. Save that, refresh, there we are. So now this works nicely. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut out this, because I want to put it not only here, I want to put it here above. And the reason I want to put it here above is so we can reassign all of these values as well. So you can see here now, start point is this, start point y is this one, and then we have here the end point epx is 700, then the y point is 300, alright, and cp number 1, control point 1, that will be 300, and then this will be that one, and finally here, that, and here, that. So if I save this all, there we are. So this works. So what happened now if I change this? So let's change the control points here on height. So I will make this 500, and I will make this one 200. If I save that, refresh, and there we are. So now you can see it's starting to change itself nicely. And of course we can change the control point. Let's make this now 100, and I want our ending point move more to the left here, so we can do this 400. Make it smaller. I'm moving it there, and there you are. So you can see here, of course, the shape will completely modify itself because of these different angles, but this is basically now nicely matched with our position here for the Bezier curve. So this is the way how we can create a shape. And of course, we can do a lot more and make more dynamic positioning for this as well. But of course, that will be another video.